Welcome back. In the last video we had this little bug where we recreated or duplicated entries when we edited them. So we kept the old entry but we created a new entry with the updated values. So let's fix that problem. First of all, we have to go to our database handler because that's where we handle all of our database stuff. And here we had the onCreate, onUpdate, and then we had this fun add happy place function. And we're going to create a similar one, which I'm going to call update happy place. Now we could of course go ahead and create functions which are depending on a entry that you have here or a parameter, but I think in this case it really makes sense to have two functions, one for adding and the other one for updating, even though they are so super similar to each other. Alright, so first of all we need a database that is writable, so that stays the same. Then everything else should also stay the same except for this part where we insert something. So instead of inserting something to the database, what we want to do is of course to update something. So let's create this variable called success and call db update. So database, which is this writable database dot update, and then we need to say what we want to update. So I want to update the table called happy place with the content values. Then we also need to add another value, which is our where clause. So we want to update it on a specific entry. So here I'm gonna say at the point where the key ID, and here key underscore ID is equal to our happy place dot ID. And of course a plus is missing, so I think it makes sense to put it in a new line here. So we have this update method, and there we pass in the table, the content values, and then we say where we want to change that, and that will be changed where the ID is the happy place ID. And we need to call the where arguments here, pass in the where arguments here as well. I'm gonna pass in no. Okay, so in this case we are updating something but only at one point, and that is going to be where the ID is the same as the happy place ID that was passed when we call the update happy place. So we pass in an object of type happy place model, which contains of course all of the information such as the title, the image, and so forth. And then we just go ahead and update all of that. And now I'm just going to return success. Now the thing is, when updating, when calling db update, you can see it returns an integer, but our update happy place currently returns a long. So we need to change that, because when adding something, you can see here when inserting, insert returns a long. And that's why it was totally fine to use a long here as the return type for our add happy place method. But now when working with the update happy place method, we're working with integers, so we need to return an integer because the success here, which is the result of db update, is an integer. So when is that even relevant? So when do we call either of those methods? So either add or update. Well, it's this save button here. So once we press on this button here at the bottom, so it's inside of adding this happy place. So let's go to add happy place, and we have this button function. So it's inside of our onClick. So here, when we press button save, we do all of this stuff, and then we have while happy place model. So we call db handler add happy place. So this is the spot where we should make changes, because now we don't only want to add happy places all the time, but we really just want to do that if we create a new entry. Otherwise we want to update a happy place. All right, so the changes start right here, where the ID will either be 0 or it will be the ID of happy place details. So here it's going to be if m happy place details is null, then use 0, else use m happy place details ID. Okay, so what is this m happy place details? Well, it's a happy place model object that we created here at the highest level, and then we set that at one point. So here, if the intent has extra, that's where we get information about the happy place model that we need to change. So if that exists, then we want to update. If it doesn't exist, then we want to add a new entry. Okay, so we need to go back to that part here. All right, so this is the if statement. And now finally, we need to check when calling this function. So here we have the DB handler. And now either we call add happy place or update happy place. All right. So here, let's create another if statement. If happy place details is null, then just go ahead and do this code here. So run the add happy place and also check this one here. So this if statement, do as you did before. But otherwise, if it's not null, then go ahead and do the update happy place. So it's pretty much the same thing, only with the difference that it's now called update happy place. And of course, the function is also called update happy place. And now we just need to pass in the model. And of course here, check if the result code is greater 0, which means there's no error. All right. So going back to our update happy place, you can see it returns an integer. So if that integer that comes from the success, so from the attempt to update something, if that is greater than 0, it means that things worked out, and then we can go ahead and use it. And the rest can stay the same. Okay, so this is pretty much it, what we need to check here. So let's now test it again and see if the bug is fixed. All right, so there we are. Let's change test without anything. Let's call this one test number 1 and press update. You can see now the first entry is test number 1, and if I scroll, you see no changes were made or no additions were made. No new entry was created. Now let's see if we create a new entry. So test new entry, test new entry description, and now the location somewhere far away. Let's add an image here. And now press save. And we can see test new entry disk. So that worked perfectly. All right. So that's already a pretty good step. You can see you could go ahead and create a to-do list now with all the knowledge that you have. So you could use pretty much everything that you've learned so far and create a beautiful to-do list app, which would really do well, I think. But then, of course, we want to add a bunch of new features, which include the location. So we will see how to use Google Maps and everything else in the next few videos. So see you in the next one.